Good Friday evening, everyone. Welcome to Garden State Weather Premium on YouTube, Garden State Weather on Facebook, and also Garden State WEA at Twitter and Garden State WX on Twitter as well. I'm meteorologist Robert Smith, and we're going to take a look at some observations and to go on with the forecast. Let's review this icy, dicey forecast for you tonight on the 4th of February 2022. I'm meteorologist Robert Smith. Okay, these winter weather advisories now have been updated, and for the most part, they're in effect now until 9 o'clock this evening because we do have precipitation. The front is well off the coast now, but we do have precipitation still antifrontal behind the front, which is streaming from the southwest to the northeast over the same areas, and the temperatures are falling. But right now, these advisories are going to be in effect until 9 o'clock this evening. These have been extended from 7 o'clock. Additional less than 1 inch of ice accumulation on or glaze until 9 o'clock this evening for Morris, Warren, in Pennsylvania, Northampton, Lehigh, and Bucks County. So you're really going to have to, let's say, be careful on the roadways this evening. Again, mixed precipitation, some freezing rain, sleet, snow here, portions of central and northwestern New Jersey and southeastern Pennsylvania until 9 o'clock this evening. Meanwhile, down at the coast, we have nothing. So this extends all the way up through New York State, where they had plenty of power outages. We'll get to that in a moment. We had a few power outages here in New Jersey near the Mercer area earlier today. That has been resolved. And of course, all of these winter weather advisories here in the city and out on Long Island, icy conditions developing this evening on a special weather statement here, and the winter weather advisories remain in effect for this area here until 7 o'clock tonight, and out on the east ends of Long Island until 10 p.m. tonight. Irregardless of when the watches or warnings, these are winter weather advisories, it doesn't really matter. It's dangerous to be driving tonight. We do have some small craft advisories until 10 p.m. on Saturday on the coastal waters here in the back bays of the Chesapeake on the New Jersey side. And also we have small craft advisories until 10 p.m. Saturday. Again, expect it now until 10 p.m. tomorrow on the South Shore and East Ends of Long Island. Okay, notice this here, 88 mile per hour wind. I doubt that. That's not possible. That is a mistake here. As we can see, if we move this up, actually get closer in here, we have snow developing behind this, some sleet and snow developing. The cold front now, the Arctic front, is well offshore, and temperatures are dropping, and want to check the temperature, so we'll take this layer off, get into observations here, and these are the current air temperatures coming in to the region this evening. And as you can see, well, you will see that in a moment, the temperatures are dropping now from the teens now across the Poconos and northeastern Pennsylvania into the upper and lower 20s here in northwestern New Jersey. They're still hovering around freezing in and around northeastern urban New Jersey here, the Newark area, and 76, that is not correct here. And also over central and eastern Long Island here and into Connecticut too, the temperatures are falling off from where they were earlier today. And if we looked at, let's look at the max temperatures for today. That started out this morning where we had temperatures in the 40s and 50s, almost near 60 degrees in a few spots. This looks subject to me at 69. This one too, oh no, these are 60. So yeah, it was quite warm this morning, and the minimum temperatures are probably where they are right about now, which is current. Now, if we take a look at the wind gust this hour, not seeing a whole lot of wind here, that's for sure. Let's take a look at the max wind gust earlier this morning and into the afternoon, and we had wind gust into the teens and 20s, even pushing into the 30s here on the south shore and east ends of Long Island, off the coastal buoys here of New Jersey, and down the shoreline here. Other thing I want to look at is the precipitation, because in the last hour we're still receiving precipitation of 1/100th of an inch. But if we looked at the last 12 hours, it's quite a lot of precipitation, nearly 1/3 to 1/2 of an inch of liquid equivalent. And over the last 24 hours, since we started dealing with all of this, we have well over an inch, and in some cases 1.5 inches of rain. Not so sure about this 2.43, 2.5 inches here, but as you can see, there's been quite a lot of rainfall, or liquid equivalent actually, of all the rain and everything that has fallen during the last 24 hours. Let's see, visibilities, they're not probably going to be so good tonight. And again, there's a lot of mixing in the air, so they're better than 10 miles, but there's a few spots here where there are 5 miles or less. So you do want to be careful if you're out on the roadways this evening. And of course, around the Delaware I-95 corridor here into Delaware and the I-95 Turnpike here, well, we've got visibilities better or less than, or just slightly over a mile, almost 1.25 miles, and in some cases there's dense fog here. Suppose we could look at satellite here. And again, if we looked at the nighttime microphysics, this is showing up here. Some of these brights here of yellow showing up with fog. And then, of course, the cold air coming in. And let's dial this back for a second. Yeah, let's dial this back. And as you can see, we've got some interior areas here where there's visibilities below 5 miles. This trough access here around the Great Lakes here from Erie to Jamestown up to Bay City and Saginaw, all the way down to Hagerstown, Maryland here. This is probably going to wash, this one is going to wash out and you can see that it's washing out here as it approaches, and this is very dry air here coming in from the northwest. And here is our frontal system here. Here's the Arctic air, and here's the antifrontal precipitation with this second trough line here right along this area. And this is where they've likely extended the winter weather advisories until 9 o'clock for this area right in here. Let's see what else we want to take a look at. Take all of this off, and the radar and the lightning, and get to power outages. Now, we had a lot of power outages here around the Hudson River Valley area. These are improving a little bit. Let's see if we can pull this up. But in Ulster County, we still have about 47,219 being affected by this, being counted here. So customers with outage is about 49% of the total customers. Then up here, we can pull this up in Columbia County. Again, about 2,100 customers out this evening, about 5.5%. So it's improving. And then, of course, if we get into Delaware County, right now we have about 542 customers affected by this. So this is improving. And still quite a lot of power outages here across the Ohio River Valley here into southwestern Pennsylvania. This is a good diagram of the upper level winds here at the jet stream level, and you can see where the Arctic front is right now. It's out over the ocean here, and all the winds on the left-hand side are out of the northwest, while they are southwest on the east side of this front. So it's very delineated here on the ground level. And in jet stream structure, if we can pull this up, will this pull up? Yeah, we still have a southwesterly flow here at the upper levels of the atmosphere, but at the ground level, it's definitely a northwest flow coming in. Yeah, you can see it right here very clearly. Now from the Mount Holly office here, the National Weather Service, Fort Dix here in New Jersey. You can see some of the rain now beginning to turn into some sleet. So this is dangerous driving conditions. We're already getting MPing reports this evening of ice pellets and sleet mixing in, and some freezing rain. Obviously, anything that's falling now on the ground is going to be in the form of freezing rain and or ice pellets. And here we're again reporting some mixed rain and ice pellets across the area. Mesoscale analysis now shows that about 4 hours ago, this line was back through northwestern New Jersey in the dotted blues. And it has now progressed a little bit further, but not much further. So that's why central and southern New Jersey's coastal areas are still above freezing. It's forecasting the model guidance, the RAP model guidance, is forecasting all of this to move continuously offshore with that trough axis and the precipitation ending eventually along the coast over the next 4 to 6 hours and pushing offshore. And then it gets quite cold. Looking at some of the storm reports here, this is from an event estimated liquid total of by a train spotter here in Sussex around Wantage Township, about 2.24 inches of liquid equivalent. That's estimated, so they're going to have to go back and take a look at this. Then, of course, we had some freezing rain in Sussex during the late afternoon and evening hours here, 1/10 of an inch or less. And it's because of the mountains that the cold air was having a problem getting buckled up in there and not allowing the cold air to feed in. So I was getting a lot of complaints about, schools being dismissed early and a lot of school closures from the day before. But, you don't want to really mess around with ice. And even if the cold air bled in slower, as the precipitation was falling over the top of it, it's not something that you want to take lightly, especially if you have busing and all of that going on. And there were quite a number of accidents today too, and potholes and sinkholes developing all over New Jersey as a result of the extreme changes in temperatures and the weather on top of it. There were strong wind gusts earlier this morning right along the coast. 39, 41, 52 mile an hour wind gust here this morning just after dawn around Barnegat Bay. And these were mesonet sensors, weather flow or mesonet gauges here. So there were strong winds and they were out of the southwest ahead of the Arctic front this morning. And just again, more reports of heavy rain in Warren County early this morning. Kokora's minor flooding reported in Warren County, New Jersey, 2.20 inches measured. So we had a lot of liquid equivalent, and we had a lot of wind gust earlier this morning out of the southwest ahead of the Arctic front. And now we're just left with this. Latest national power outage image here from poweroutage.us. In New York, top areas of outages here, about 50,506. Ohio, 53,378. Tennessee is bad, 117,235. Pennsylvania, about 24,000 almost. West Virginia, about 14,000. And in Tennessee here, this is bad. And also along New York here, we're tracking this. And areas here like in Ulster County, about 42,000, almost 43,000 people out still. Not so bad in Delaware, about 526, Delaware County that is. And here in Columbia County, about almost 4,000. So we're dealing with that situation here on Long Island. Suffolk County, about 99 people out. Queens, about 1,000 people out. Brooklyn, 622. You get this Westchester, about 3 out. So, things are slowly improving here. Staten Island, about 180,000 people being tracked, but only one outage here. So these are very low here. 511 incidences here. We have a crash on I-78. at 7:08 this evening, just a few minutes ago here, in both directions, east of exit 3, New Jersey and US 22 and Greenwich Township, one left lane is closed. Another crash here on the New Jersey Turnpike. We had pothole repairs here in New Jersey and sinkhole repairs too earlier this morning. And basically, there's a crash on the New Jersey Turnpike outer roadway southbound south of Interchange 9, New Jersey 18 and East Brunswick, right shoulder closed. Emergency construction on New Jersey 4 at 5:10 p.m. Westbound east of Bell Ave in Teaneck Township, one lane closed for repairs. Nothing new there. We live in an area where our roadway systems, like everything else, our infrastructure is all botched up and old. Plenty of disabled vehicles and crashes here in New York as well, and in Connecticut, the same kind of thing. Relatively benign weather coming up for the weekend, albeit being cold, and next week too as well, but not as cold as tomorrow and Sunday will be here in the New Jersey, New York City, Philadelphia I-95 corridor. And we have an offshore low and an inverted trough, which could bring some very light precipitation to the area Monday night and Tuesday. I'm not too concerned about that right now, but it's something I'm monitoring. And we'll get into the finer details of the forecast for the week ahead in the next video. Meanwhile, stay safe out there if you're traveling tonight, or just enjoy the indoors by the fireplace and your family. I'm meteorologist Robert Smith. Have a pleasant and safe Friday evening and a great weekend ahead.